my home, it's my city.
He loves Milwaukee. He is Milwaukee.
Giannis has always felt this kinship, this sense of loyalty to the people in Milwaukee.
The show goes on, and let's get it.
Let's get it. They've fallen short, as we know, to this point. But maybe this new money and new enhancements, and perhaps the Bucks will be on their way to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1974. Last championship, only championship in 71. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin presented by
buddy.
Progressive Insurance. All right, Keyshawn.
Talking about new money.
Yeah.
I need to talk to Giannis because I learned something living on the East Coast, man. And I've never heard of this before because living where I live at and this snowstorm is coming through or whatnot, I got a call the other day, and I think I was talking to y'all about it yesterday about the snow in front of my house and all of that sort of stuff. Like, I'm responsible.
Yes, shoveling your own driveway,
cleaning
your own
that
sidewalk.
up. But it's the city's property. It's not my property. I don't understand why I'm responsible for cleaning it up. I don't get it. I don't get y'all, man. I don't. If it rains in LA, we not responsible to make sure that the sidewalk is dry? That's crazy.
Can I ask you an attire question? Do you have the thick wool socks on today? Or are you still rocking no socks? I know how y'all from LA, y'all be rocking no socks.
I got no socks. No, I got no socks.
Okay.
I got no socks today.
You gotta rock the socks, man. It's
yeah,
important.
But I don't get, can y'all explain to me, though, why am I responsible for city property? That I don't own the curb. That's not mine.
Let me give you a quick East Coast tip. Jay, you know this. Key, this is something you wouldn't know because obviously we had Lil Wayne making it rain at the top, and when it rains in LA, it's a catastrophe. Snow might keep you homebound here for a week, I understand, but Jay knows this. Just give a kid on the block $20. I guarantee you he'll be over at your house before you hang up the phone. Just give a kid $20. Everybody's learning at home right now. That'll be like $1 million to like a 15-year-old kid. He'll be happy to do it.
No, I get it.
I think that kid's name, Zubin, is Pat Costello, right? Yeah, he wants a job.
He'll do it for 15.
But I just don't get it, man. I don't get why I gotta pay to clean my sidewalk, even though I don't own the sidewalk. I don't get it.
Fair enough. Here's something I don't get here. And Key, I want to get your opinion on this. They've been handing out the NBA's MVP since way back. And I know Key likes to talk about only things in Key's lifetimes. This is going to go back a little before, Key, you were born. They've been handing out the MVP in the NBA since 1955-56. Bob Pettit was the first winner, the legendary Bob Pettit. Giannis has been the most recent winner. In fact, he's won the last two. Before the season starts on Tuesday, you have all these anonymous surveys that come out, and it's actually really cool. They talk to the GMs, the real decision makers. We're the fans, but they ask the decision makers who's going to be the MVP, who's the best player in basketball. And they polled about 8 guys, about a quarter of the league, 25% of the league or so, a little less than that. And 7 of the 8 dudes, Key, said your guy, LeBron, hands down, is the best player in the NBA. But barely any of them think he can win the MVP. And to a degree, you seem to agree with that as we embark on a 72-game season. If he carried the Lakers to their 17th championship and is showing no signs of slowing down whatsoever, how come you're not given the green light for LeBron winning yet another MVP?
Well, I think when you look at it, there's going to be a couple of things that factors. This the LeBron James fatigue. And not only that, the load management situation. He's on the front and on the back end. LeBron's going to get rest. I think we all know that. Once certain seedings are put into place and they clinch certain things, LeBron will start to rest up. At the beginning of the season, he just finished playing basketball a month ago. So you're not going to see him all that much in the beginning of the season. At least I don't think so. You'll see him in the middle of the season, but then once they clinch and you get on the back end of it, they'll rest up and into the playoffs. And those decision makers or those voters with that plus the fatigue factor of LeBron, and he's a polarizing figure, they're not going to vote him in. They're not going to vote for him. That's just the reality of it. And I don't know. There's a small part of LeBron that would love to get another MVP. There's no question about it. But in the end, I think for him, the championship is way more important than an MVP.
Key, I'm on board with you. Look, they're going to load manage LeBron James throughout the course of the year. He'll fight that. He'll continue to play. But Luka Doncic is going to win the MVP. and people are probably going to drop their mouths at this comment. He's the next coming of LeBron. Look up the video footage. LeBron James literally said during a sit down on the Road Tripping podcast that the only player in the NBA he wanted to sign to his own shoe deal was Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic averaged 25 points, 7.5 assists, 9 rebounds per game. He led the NBA in triple doubles, 17. Before he got injured this past season, he was in the MVP conversation, top 5 in the league. In the league, he has been a meteorite that has been ascending. And the one thing I can say about him is there's certain players that when you see them on the court, he's must-watch TV. Zuby, you talked about that earlier in the segment about Giannis, about you felt like it was hard. Giannis doesn't pull you to the TV screen to watch. Every time Luka Doncic is playing, I'm watching that damn game because he makes the game easier for everybody else around him. He sees things before it happens. He doesn't have the explosiveness like LeBron did at this stage of his career, but his skill set is off the charts, man. He can get to anywhere he wants to get on the court. He can score over anybody. And I'm telling you, there's certain guys, the game plays fast. He sees the game slow. Play fast, think slow. That's what Luka Doncic is in a dime, 24/7, all the time.
He's certainly up there on the list. I mean, there's no question about it. And I think as you start to think about some of the players, I think you're going to fall into the same category with Giannis as LeBron James, where there's Giannis fatigue, and Giannis hasn't even delivered a championship yet, and he's been in the playoffs several times. So it's kind of he keeps getting bounced. So they're not going to reward him for those things. Anthony Davis, another big for the Lakers, is kind of going to split those conversations between LeBron, a teammate of his, and himself, so he's not going to win out on those things. You think about Steph Curry. Steph Curry, depending on where he would bring the Golden State Warriors to, if he all of a sudden, the Golden State Warriors are at the top of the heat, then you can't leave out Steph Curry because that means he's done some magical stuff to get them in that conversation. And then I think, lastly, Kawhi Leonard. Can Kawhi Leonard get through with the Lakers and Ty Lue as the new coach and give you something that makes you believe that the Clippers can go on and win the championship?
Key, I will say one dark horse. You can't look them over just because I think they are going to be the most polarizing team in the NBA if he's able to stay healthy is Kevin Durant.
Well, yeah,
Kevin
of course,
Durant, just one of the most prolific scorers we've ever seen. Just he's a dark horse in this whole thing because if him and Kyrie start clicking at the right time, like between things that they're going to say, between things that they won't say, between IG stories and them going IG live, I'm just telling you, they're going to be the most talked about team in the NBA this year because of the electricity that they have between the two of them.
Couple of points here, fellas, before we get back into some more NFL talk in just a bit. Jay's got Luka Doncic as the favorite to win. He just said it. He's also the betting favorite to win, courtesy of Caesars William Hill. So Jay comes from that NBA experience perspective and the gambling perspective also on the Mavericks' young superstar. To Key's point, today, Key, believe it or not, is the 65th day since LeBron won the championship. So it's been just over 2 months. They clinched the championship on a Sunday night, October 11th. It's been just 65 days. It'll be 71 days.
I love you, Zuby, man. I said a month or so. Zuby went right to the numbers. 65 days until the day.
But I'm just accentuating your point.
5 days.
No, I just love it, though. I can always count on you, Zubin, to make sure that the numbers are correct.
Right, and the thing about it is I'm just accentuating your point that it's really no off-season at all. If you're basically talking 2+ months, it'll be 71 days until they get back on the floor. Last thing I want to say on the MVP chatter, and I agree, back in the old days, to Key's point, storyline. You can't give it to Michael every year. Let's give it to Charles Barkley one year. Let's give it to Karl Malone one year because of the storyline. But keep in mind here, just in the last decade, and you fellas know this, we've had repeat winners just this last decade. I'm talking like 2010 to 2020. LeBron's won it twice in a row. Steph won it twice in a row. And Giannis has won it twice in a row. So the storyline perspective is there, but the voters have shown if there's somebody overwhelmingly there to win it, they will give it to you back to back. Keyshawn J. Will Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance. Quoting home insurance just got easier with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Quote and buy all online at progressive.com. On the way, Jerry has said Mike's coming back next year to coach the Cowboys. Jerry's son, Steven, has said Mike's coming back next year to coach the Cowboys. But our NFL insider says, well, he'll tell you after Jay has this.
Free shipping is great. Free shipping, no minimum? What? That's the Walmart Plus magic for your holiday. Get all of your last minute shopping done with free next day or 2-day shipping on a huge selection of eligible items from Walmart.